you can hear. Hi there, this is Chris Theodore. I hope you're having a oh, you're down there. Sorry about my dog Bernie barking. My dog Bernie barking, but he does that from time to time. I am going to talk to you about a book called How to Be the Hero That Your Children Need. I wanted to talk about that because there is a concept. Here's my dog Bernie. He's saying, I heard myself being talked about. Do you want to jump up into the, oh, yeah, he does. There's an idea in this book that is very, very, very powerful. And for me, I noticed that once I thought about this, I was able to kind of deal with some of the things that normally frustrate me as a father about my kids, particularly my fantastic and beautiful son, Max. And the book is basically talking about how important fathers are and how our children, whether they say it or not, and they probably won't say it, but they see us already in a sort of heroic way. And whether, unfortunately, a father is in prison, their son or daughter will see them on some level in a heroic way because it's deep inside of them. And in that case, it's very dangerous and bad because the son might emulate the father, right? But I think for me, why this was so powerful was because I tend to get upset if I don't think my children, and particularly my son, is demonstrating enough respect for me. And I think it is because I don't think I matter enough. You know, I'm thinking, hey, I don't matter to this kid anymore. And this book reminded me that no. You matter as fathers and as mothers too. But I'm just going to talk about the father part. You know, we matter to our children in an enormous amount. And it was very validating to hear this from, an MD, physician, as well as a marriage and family therapist. She's both of those things. Talk about how in her decades of work with families, she realizes that, men and fathers are pretty much everything to their children. So you do matter, And so if you are thinking about, if you get angry, as I do, about being disrespected or I don't matter anymore to this child, or I'm seeing my influence decrease, just remember the truth is that you are probably the most important thing in their entire life. And that can make us feel less antsy and anxious and dumb about things that our kids do, because we realize, well, they're young, they're learning, and I matter a great deal. And it was a very powerful realization. And it was kind of cool because I was listening to the I Escaped from Auschwitz book, and I started reading this Hero Fatherhood book as a way of, breaking the onslaught of mental anguish that I was going through imagining and remembering all of the tragedy and brutality. So, the last thing I will tell you, and it was so totally cool, was when I was listening to it, she told the story of that father who you may have seen on YouTube carrying his son through various contests, like the Ironman contests and swimming contests and biking contests. And I was thinking about it, and I was, as she was describing it and reminding me of this fantastic father who did that to his son, who I think has cerebral palsy. As I was driving into Southern California, and I started crying because to me, it reminded me of those images and footage that I've seen of that dad, and the son is all excited about getting to cross the finish line, and the father, and I thought about my own son how much I love him and how much I hope for the best for him, right? And so I texted him at some point when I pulled over or something because I wanted to connect with him. And I think I was crying also because of a lack of a diminishment of connection from my own weaknesses, really, of, like I was saying, feeling like I wasn't really important to him, as he's getting older. He's 15 now, but realizing that I am important and to him and incredibly important to him. And so I texted him, and it was really beautiful because I could tell that in the message that I sent him, he got it, that I loved him so very, very deeply, and that I missed this connection that we at one time had. And so when I came home after a couple days in Southern California, there was something different that had happened because I had shown him how much I loved him, and I told him what I knew fatherhood was about. And I said, this man strapping his son to his body and carrying him, that's what fatherhood is, strapping yourself to your child and making sure that he makes it. And so it was beautiful. And so at the end, the takeaway is check out this book. It's awesome. And it can remind you what a heroic place and role we as fathers have, whether we like it or not. But it's actually quite wonderful and a blessing. And it can help us not need or not get hung up by some of the things our children do when we think that they're not, when we don't feel important enough to them. So that's it. Thanks for listening. I hope that was good for you fathers. And let me know in the comments what you're dealing with when it comes to fatherhood, and some of the greatest books you've ever read or heard, and some of the things that you've learned that took you a while to figure out about being a father that's helped in your doing of that role. All right? Take it easy. Thanks. Bye.